Hey, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Christian Hanna Horror here today, and today, guys, talking about Pet Sematary 2. This is the new Blu-ray Scream Factory Pet Sematary 2, and before I talk about this Blu-ray release, I will talk about the movie Pet Sematary 2. So, this is a movie I found when I was at an FYE years ago, just building up a DVD collection for horror movies, specifically movies I hadn't seen yet. Came across this around 2000, maybe 11 at the latest, and I was like, whoa, this exists, Pet Sematary 2, cool. On the DVD cover, I believe Edward Furlong was on the front of it, so immediately I was like, oh, it's John Connor, I gotta check this out. I've always liked Pet Sematary. You know, it's very high regarded among horror fans, and if you're a Stephen King fan, a lot of people, they think that it's typically a favorite is Pet Sematary, and I can't argue that. I think it's a fantastic little movie. So when Pet Sematary 2 came into my existence and I watched the movie, I liked Pet Sematary 2. So let's kind of break things down about the movie real quick. So, of course, this is a loose continuation off of the first one in the sense that it's the same Pet Sematary that exists. It's a next chapter in the world of Pet Sematary, but doesn't continue with the same type of characters that were from the first movie. So, John Connor is a kid in this movie whose mom is a famous actor who unfortunately dies in this sad accident. Goes to stay with his dad when they move into this small town. His dad is a veterinarian and makes friends with this young kid who also has a really mean stepdad who's a cop, very abusive to him, mean to him. And the cop doesn't like the heavyset kid's dog. So the long short of it is the poor dog gets shot. Him and John Connor, I'll call him John Connor for the sake of knowing who we're talking about because, I can't remember the character's name. They go to the pet cemetery to bury the dog. The dog comes back because, of course, this is buried in the godforsaken pet cemetery. You got these two kids going against the authority figures that are mean. It has much more of feels very 90s, this movie. The music in this movie is very, very 90s. Charming to me because it's early 90s, and if I'm going to pick a part of the decade of music I like more, I'm much more of an early 90s person than a late 90s person. So Pet Sematary definitely has its own flavor and feel. As far as like the speeding of this movie, the way it feels, the flow of it, it feels the same in a sense because this is also Mary Lambert directing it, and that's great for me because I thought she did such a fantastic job on the first one. So her doing the second one is a win for me. And, when I watched it, I felt that. And sure enough, when I got done with the movie, I looked on the back and realized, oh, wow, so it was Mary Lambert. Because the way the characters develop, the way the story is told at a moderate pace, not way too fast, but not very slow, just felt very Mary Lambert to me from the first movie. So having her direct it is a great thing. Also, the characters in this movie, interesting. Are they as integral? Are they as do they make the story forebode as much as the first one? I would say 60 to 70% as much as the original. Pet Sematary 2 is a good example of a lot of horror movie sequels to me that are good follow-ups that don't insult the first movie but don't necessarily equate the natural aura that the originals have. So in that essence, really, I can't fault anything for Pet Sematary 2 on its merits because it's a horror movie sequel based off of a Stephen King book and a beloved horror movie. Pet Sematary 2 doesn't really do anything wrong. It tries to tell its own story in the world of Pet Sematary, has pretty interesting characters. I really was never bored for a split second with Pet Sematary 2. I would call it a lighter shade of gray. I would call it a little bit more funny. I really like seeing the kids on Halloween dress up. Of course, John Connor in the movie dresses up as Jason, a fake Jason with a different style hockey mask, which was nice. And the characters were interesting and enjoyable, and some of them were kind of funny. This is a lighter shade of gray for sure. Pet Sematary 2 is a much lighter shade of gray than the first Pet Sematary, which deals with really intense elements, with the kid dying and the funeral scene. All of that is taken out of Pet Sematary 2 and brought it more into I almost want to say punkier vibe, a more horror comedy vibe. Like I said, it's just a much lighter shade of gray, and I think that's fine for Pet Sematary 2. It has its own identity, 100%. The characters are, to me, very interesting. I liked it. I was very enjoyable. This is a very fun, relaxing horror movie fans horror movie. It's just serves its purpose. It's a sequel to Pet Sematary, which is a very beloved horror movie, and it's enjoyable. So while I don't think it's as legendary as the first one, I do think Pet Sematary 2 on its own merits is a great follow-up to an amazing horror movie. So if you have not seen Pet Sematary 2, I definitely say check it out, with the notion that I don't think it's as maybe important and as, I guess, good as the first movie. But that's saying a lot, because the original Pet Sematary, the first Pet Sematary, I think, is a really good horror movie, especially for horror fans. But Pet Sematary 2 will deliver on a very nice level for horror movie fans. So definitely give this movie a shot. Now, as far as the Scream Factory Blu-ray, I do think that the transfer of this was amazing. I was not expecting it to look this good, but this is a 4K scan of the movie. This movie has good special features, not a whole lot. The really only notable thing is there's the new audio commentary with Mary Lambert, which was good. I listened to that, it was very insightful. And you also have the interview with actor Edward Furlong, John Connor, if you will, which is the most important. And I was really glad to see him in this. So this is a good release. I do recommend getting your hands on this. And that's Pet Sematary 2. If I had to give it a ranking out of 0 out of 10, I'd give it a 6.8. I really enjoy Pet Sematary 2, and that's a horror movie fan's ranking on the film, not a general movie fan. I'm a horror movie fan, so that's my ranking. I do recommend picking that up if you're going to get some new releases this year. Pet Sematary 2, a 4K scan Blu-ray of a pretty good horror movie. I really like it. And it's also got, in my opinion, the even cooler Ramones song, Poison Heart. Amazing song from their 92 album. So check that out. But every Ramones song is good to me. So thank you guys for watching this video. I definitely recommend Pet Sematary 2. Give it a watch. And we'll see you guys next time.